Archival records indicate that George Sebring's circle plan for the downtown area was based on the design of Heliopolis, an ancient Egyptian city. George's idea was that all roads should radiate from the center of the community. And from this city, on the circle, Sebring International Raceway was born. Coming at you live from the Sunshine State. Welcome back for another GSRC presentation. I'm your host today, Sean Ambrose, and in the chair next to me is Dawson Brock. In the director's chair, the doctor of pistopology himself, Amjad Yaman, armed with cameras located, aimed, and zoomed by GSRC's camera guru, Dougie Beard. Over the next few minutes, we'll get you up to speed with the Absolute Beginners Indy League and what they have in store for us today. When we were here with you 2 weeks ago, it was all about the wide open space and high speeds out at Auto Club Speedway. Today, it's all about the setup and surviving the bumps and curves of Sebring in this brand new IR-18. The road aces will be out for revenge today. Matt Kingsbury showed everyone he could hold off the pack in California, but today he'll need his best chops to tackle this grand old road circuit. We've hit the halfway point of the season and the championship battle is tighter than ever. What lies in store for us today? Well, who knows? But let's let Dawson figure that out first with some info about this old facility here.
Yeah, laid out on the runways of a World War II airbase, Sebring is the oldest permanent racing circuit in the United States. Its first race was held on New Year's Eve back in 1950. The first 12-hour endurance race was held 2 years later and was the site of America's only real international race. To this day, Sebring is host to the annual 12 Hours of Sebring ran by the IMSA series. Today, the layout is 3.7 miles with 17 turns. Various sections have been paved over the years, but some of the original track remains. Because of that, Sebring is very bumpy with many surface transitions. To get a feel of what this place is like, let's head around Sebring, I believe in a BMW, to get a feel of what this place is actually like.
All right, we've got Amjad Yaman in the GSRC BMW, so let's do a lap around Sebring. Coming down the front stretch, turn 1 is a wake-up call right away. Very fast and bumpy, plus the inside wall makes it blind. With the way the track narrows on exit, it makes hitting your marks very difficult. From there, you're going to hold right to set up the car for turn 3. It's possible to sneak passes in here from time to time, so keep your head up. It's a late apex on this corner so that you can set up for 4 and 5. Once again, another late apex on 5, and it's going to be very important to get your car lined up and settled. Because once you're on the power, you shouldn't have to lift all the way around Big Bend until you finally hit the braking for the hairpin. This is probably your best place to attempt to pass around the circuit. It's a straight shot, and it's a long braking zone to give you a chance to slip past your opponent. Just watch out on the exit because of the way the track weaves. It can be easy to put a tire in the dirt and lose traction. From there, it's a matter of straightening out 8 and 9, but ultimately, you'll bring the car to the left to line up Cunningham. This is another spot where overtakes are likely to take place, but once again, the exit can be the trickiest bit to master with how narrow and bumpy Collier is. And worse, it also leads into the curved braking zone for Tower. It's not uncommon to see drivers slip a bit wide and lose it on entry here. At the apex, watch out for the tall curb on the inside, which can also unsettle the car. From there, it's going to be another long acceleration zone as we fly through the double apexer of Bishop. The key to this turn is setting yourself up for 15, which even though it has lots of paved runoff, it can cost you gobs of time if you lose it here. From there, hold left to give yourself the best entry into Le Mans. This dumps you onto the Ullman Straight, so failing to carry your speed is going to make you a sitting duck down into Sunset. Guys behind you with a run will be able to suck up into your draft and put you in the unenviable position of playing chicken into this frightening final corner. Trying to go too wide is putting your car at risk. You've got this scary fast kink just as you're braking, and then come the bumps. The car is going to be bouncing all over, and then on top of it, you got to line up your exit just right and dare to put the power down. If you manage to survive that, you finished a lap around Sebring.
And that was a trip around Sebring in, the GSRC of BMW. You know, we've had the worst luck here the past few weeks with cars. apparently somebody decided they wanted to take that fancy new IR-18 out last night. The GSRC IR-18 took it out. And well, they're just say there was a parking snafu. Anyway, on to the race. Race fans, the Absolute Beginners Indy League, there are 2 championships, one for individual drivers and a second for teams. The teams are limited to no more than 2 drivers, but it's time to take a look at those championship standings now. And here we are in the driver standings. Henry Bennett sits there on top with 23 points to the good now. We've hit the halfway point, so we are taking into account 1 drop race and those pocket points there listed. So Bennett right now 14 points to the good. But Jan Schwitter there in second. Liam Quinn. Now they battle 3rd through 5th back here. This is really interesting here because this could all change today. Liam Quinn, Andrew Kinsella, Matt Kingsbury, all stacked up. And yeah, I expect that to jumble up again before we get back next week. Now, Matt Kingsbury, of course, the big mover, up 9 spots into 5th. So he's sitting here in a really good position to strike over the next 6 races. Now let's look at the team standings. Petronas Racing Team, Jan Schwitter and Ali Kwoka, 222 points. They're in first, being very, very closely followed by Maximum Attack, only 4 points behind, and kind of the same situation just behind them here in the team standings with 3rd, 4th, and 5th. And you see Last Lap Motorsports and Lockout Racing, they're in 3rd, Sea Bottom Racing and Team Talent in 5th, all very, very close in the points right now. And at the halfway pole here, you know, really anybody here, these teams, they've got to feel like they've still got a chance here to strike and maybe get themselves here to the top of the team standings. Dawson, have a lot of first-time viewers, I'm sure. Why don't you go ahead and take a look at the road race details today?
All right, well, this series is round 6 of 12 here at Sebring IndyCar series. So each week they're alternating between oval and road, and actually they do not race every week. It's every 2 weeks. So this is kind of a little bit spaced out and gives drivers 2 weeks to prepare for the next race. We got 30 laps today, open setups. That's really important. Right around when that new IndyCar came out, it was really important for guys to learn how to set up these cars. That open setup makes a huge difference now. We're going to go about 12 laps on field, so we're going to need to make 2 stops today. Will be interesting to see when drivers do that and whether or not tires are a part of that stop. Now we have 10 push to pass, which I wish we could, you know, maybe see how many guys have or when they use them, but always interesting to see a lot of passing opportunities, especially here at Sebring. And then our incident cap of 20. I don't think many people are going to be getting to that today, but you know, should be a lot of fun. If this is your first time tuning in, should be plenty of action.
Well, you know what? This Sebring can be a very, very unforgiving track. And let's start with how hot it is today on track. Let's look at our weather here and get that in line for everybody. It is partly cloudy, but it's 80 degrees outside and it's 106 degrees on track. Add that to the fact that this track is like a washboard pretty much all the way around. It's going to be pretty hard to find grip out here today. And that could make passing in areas like turns 2 all the way through Big Bend very tricky. You're probably going to have to take advantage of places like the hairpin down in turn 7 or maybe in Tower turn 13. But the straight, the back straightaway, of course, all the way to Sunset Bend, that's probably where we're going to see a lot of action today, Dawson, don't you think?
Yeah, definitely. You know, look to get a good run out of there, and if you can better your opponent, get into that slipstream and get a nice run going into that corner. Plenty of opportunity there, plenty of time, plenty of space. I think that's probably the best one, other than maybe the front stretch. But if you get a good run out of the final couple turns there, but I think overall that's where we're going to be watching.
Now, we've seen how this car reacts on the super speedway, such as California, where we were a couple weeks ago. Now we're here at this road circuit in Sebring, and as I was talking about that back straightaway there, do you think draft is going to be a big issue down there? I mean, do you think the draft model on this car is we're going to see a lot of guys jockeying for position into Sunset?
I think so. I think there's enough. I think this IR-18, the draft model is pretty similar to the old Dallara, but I think there's plenty of time there for guys to maybe get that slipstream. You add a push to pass with that, and I think there is plenty of time to get side by side going into that final corner. And I wonder, will that inside line be the best way through the final? I forget, you called it Somerset or something like that.
Sunset.
Sunset. All right. That outside or inside, which one's going to prevail, and who's going to be able to run it better if they are side by side? I think we'll see guys side by side through there all night.
Well, and that's the interesting thing about Sunset. There really are probably 5 or 6 different lines through there. All of them can be fast, but when you are battling side by side and the bumpiness of that surface going through there, it can get very tricky, very unstable. You do probably want to give a little bit of room, maybe a little bit more room than you would have normally given. But right now we've gone into qualifying here. They get 3 qualifying laps, and Joao Valverde currently sits on top. 2 laps in the books. He's going around for his third now with a 139.2. 5-1 that gets him there on the top of the board. And a couple names that we haven't seen. Randolph Cheneth Randy gets himself into second right now with just 1 lap, a 139.289. So not a bad opening effort for him here in the series. And, well, tell you what, we've got a pretty steep field today. 22 IndyCars here at Sebring. This should be pretty exciting. A lot of heavy hitters here.
A lot of guys who know how to drive this car, too. You look at Ollie Coca, Liam Quinn, Joao Valverde. I mean, all these guys are very, very handy behind the wheel of this car. We saw Johan Vanderbilt, David Burns, Richard Tam. All these guys do really well on the last time we went to a road course back at, I believe, Barber. So I think with a couple new guys and some guys who've already had success, we could have plenty of competition throughout this entire race.
Yeah, Fabian Jungbluth is here. And he just got out of his car in the Camel GT Series, the race we just finished covering a little while ago here. So busy day for him as he's going to hop in now to an IndyCar and race Sebring instead of Mosport. 2 totally different tracks, 2 totally different cars. This should be interesting to see how well he survives this. Jungbluth right now sitting back there in 17th. Already got all 3 of his laps in, running in the 141s, 141.2. So not too shabby. He'll be in the hunt of this here. Still several cars. Austin Espetit still on track. Got Schwitter still on track, taking his lap. We're on board with Michael Hafladay's in here. And we're gone to Austin Espetit now. Here comes Espetit around. He's working on his 3rd lap. See if he can go a little bit better. He gets across the line. P3 for Austin Espetit. 139.521. Andrew Kinsella, the Canadian. We know him pretty well. Lionheart IndyCar Series regular. Andrew coming around here, gets the trip through Sunset. Going to come across the line. And he's going to go to P6. So not a bad effort there. 140.1. Schwitter. I think Schwitter just came across, got his 2nd lap in. That was good enough for P5. Schwitter working on his 3rd and final lap here. He's sitting on a 140 point. I'm sorry, Schwitter's sitting on a 139.7. Dawson, I think tires, I think you could probably sit on him in that first stop today, but I think you're going to probably want him for that last that last stop and have some fresh rubber on the car to finish your attack at this track.
Yeah, it'll be interesting because we're thinking 2 stops, 12 laps. If you go and run it dry twice, you're going to be sitting at lap 24 with about 6 to go when you need to make that final stop. So do people pit off cycle right away? Do they try and get it where the tires are at lap 15? I don't know. There's different ways to do this, and I think that pit strategy could definitely increase somebody's chances. Maybe they're in the back to get a good pit strategy. They might be able to jump up that leaderboard after pit stops.
Yeah, and we just saw Jan Schwitter go to the top of the board with his qualifying effort, and that was a monster run for him. Gets himself on the pole, but now we are going to grid. Let's go ahead and get that in here. The Absolute Beginners IndyCar League here at Sebring. Jan Schwitter on the pole. Yael Valverde will start second. Randy Cheneth will start third today. Austin Espetie in fourth. Dennis Garrison starting fifth. Ali Cuoca sixth. Andrew Kinsella starting seventh today. Jamie Wilson, they're on the outside of row 4 and 8th. Row 5, Liam Quinn and Michael Rugenbrink.
Richard Tam going to start 11th. Johan Vanderbilt going to start 12th. David Third Degree Burns 13th. George Nauyux 14th. Ray Kingsbury, Niall McBride 15th and 16th. Andres Eek 17th. James King 18th. Fabian Youngbloom 19th. And Thomas Kick to round out the top 20.
All right. Michael Hafladays in 21st. Matt Kingsbury will start 22nd. And Dawson, you've been hanging around Soup too much. So, not that there's anything wrong with that. So Schwitter, at the last moment there, takes the pole. And Joao Valverde is going to be right there with him. We will get a lap around here before they cut him loose. So plenty still to talk about. We were talking about strategy. I think there are a couple of different ways you can play this, and I think the teams will probably have differing strategies. Everybody thinks they have a plan, and well, it's best that you stick to it. So things seem to go terribly wrong when you have to make adjustments on the fly. So I think the key will be to keeping this IR-18 on the track today.
Yeah, and with plenty of, we have high-speed corners and low-speed corners here at Sebring. Where's your car set up for and avoiding the mistakes? I just know from personally running this, I had trouble in the slow corners, getting it back to the power. So hopefully guys don't make too many mistakes, run through the grass a couple times. Keep them cars clean, and you're going to end up with a pretty nice finish.
Yeah, I think getting the exit at Le Mans, turn 16, I think that's going to be so important. That could be a very, very tricky right-hander. A lot of runoff to the left. It just seems like the car always wants to track out over that curb, and that will get you in trouble here today. And you need a great run down the Ullman Straight into Sunset Bend to set up hopefully a last lap pass to put you in the lead. Look for the strength of the IR-18 to really, really shine there on the very, very last section of the track. I think as you get through turn 2 and down through hole 3 and to Big Bend, I think that's going to be really, really tricky for the guys to navigate today. There's not a lot of room on the track through there, and then the trip down to the hairpin can always be an interesting one, because that hairpin, it's very, very tight. It's the slowest speed turn on the track, and well, rest assured, we will probably see trouble there at some point. Maybe if the guys get spread out quick, they'll avoid it, but look for a great battle there early as cars try to jockey for their positions in this race.
And I think talking about that turn, I think it's a great passing opportunity too. If you can outbrake somebody getting into there, I know side-by-side gets a little tricky through there, but boy, if you can break last, maybe beat them to that turn, see, who's going to back out of it first. Maybe a couple more passes happening there.
Game of chicken.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. The pace car now coming through Tower. This is turn 13. This is where things start to open up just a bit, Dawson. Make this run through Bishop and then down to Jean de Bien. Turn 15. You'll see a lot of people trying to pass through here, but the problem is the track, again, kind of narrow through here, really easy to get off track. The concrete will save you, but the grass certainly won't.
Had a lot of fun running through here with all the downforce that this car has. Kind of, get it wide out to the left and then bring it back right and get a nice run down that backstretch. I love that part of the track.
Yeah, like I said, it's going to be so important coming out of there. But everybody now starts to bunch him up. Jan Schwitter looks to show them the way. This is one last time to make sure you are ready for this race. Schwitter not even looking in the mirror at this point. It's all about getting the jump here on Valverde. Pace car is going to pull in just as he comes around under the bridge. Schwitter picking up the pace just a little bit there on the outside. Now he'll come back to the inside as they get out of sunset. Pace car's in. The green flag is out and we are underway. Here at Sebring Raceway. Schwitter already with the early lead going down here into turn one. Valverde going to come alongside, but Schwitter getting away. Side-by-side racing behind him. Espiti, Cheneth already at it. Espiti, Cheneth already fighting hard down into turn three. Trouble behind, a little bit of contact there.
Kingsbury and McBride, it looks like.
Schwitter still with a good advantage here on Valverde. Valverde looking down into the hairpin. It's not there. Schwitter with a nice line out. He puts the power down quick here up into Fangio. Yeah, Schwitter's on the mark right now. Great start for him. Cheneth gets into third. Was able to get away from Espiti there. As we follow this first lap around here at Sebring. Michel Rugenbrink back there. He gets himself already up to 8th. Picks up 2 spots here early. Coming here through the back part of the track, though. Now, here is the first run into the Ullman straight for our leader. Jan Schwitter already starting to pull away. 0.7 of a second. Cheneth Espiti side by side down the Ullman straight. Espiti on the inside. Going to take it early. Espiti going to clear him out of sunset. Hold advantage. They're in third. Espiti gets it across the line. Cheneth fighting back already. Cheneth trying to find some air to get around. It's not there. Espiti going to take the nice, tight, tidy line there through turn one. Okay, Dawson, let's look at this incident that happened here on the opening lap with Kingsbury.
A couple cars are getting damaged as I look through the rest of the field, but boy, everybody, just jockeying for their position at this point now. Just going into that hard braking zone. Yeah,
and like you said, jockeying for position, trying to get things sorted out, and they just come together there. Now McBride was one of the cars that got caught up into that and got bounced around. He's the one out on the access road there. And Ray Kingsbury, of course, suffering the damage he did. His wings all busted up. Probably going to opt to come in and take a pit stop here at some point. Going to be tough to drag that wing around. Let's go back live.
And despite all of that action, nobody retired, so everybody's still back on a track.
Yeah, and McBride actually doesn't look too worse for the wear. He got punted, but it doesn't look like it really damaged the car much. So that could have been fortunate for him to avoid early damage. Back to the front of the field, though. Back down the main straight. I'm sorry, the Ullman straight. It's Jan Schwitter still in the lead, making another trip through sunset here. And he has now opened that up to a 1.1 second lead. Valverde still in second. Espiti doing a little bit better here on Cheneth. Cheneth has kind of backed off a little bit and given him a little bit of space to run. Dennis Garrison currently in 5th. Ali Polka 6th. Andrew Kinsella 7th. So not a tremendous amount of movement right now in the top 10.
Garrison looked like he wanted to make a move right there. Not really enough room. Had to back off.
James King is off to a solid start. We'll go back to 11th. Oh boy. Yeah, that might have been commentator's curse on that. Uh, poor James. You see he's coming down into the turn here. Maybe that was brakes. You think maybe he got out a little too hard there?
Well, his car's still doing it. It looks like the tires are... Oh, boy.
Yeah, and he has trouble, more trouble after that. Jeez. Yeah, let's see what Jamie Wilson saw. Jamie fortunate to get by that the car didn't come back across, all the way across back into his line. And that was a moment.
Yeah, he had more trouble than after that going into the next corner. I mean, you had a little bit of debris on the tires. They just recently locked up, and there it goes again.
Yeah.
Ugh. You gotta back off your brake bias, maybe something just to get that car handling right for a couple laps, get them tires cooled down.
Now, we don't have to go to it, but Niall McBride also had spun as well. So McBride tumbling here through the standings. I see David Burns had brought his car in after the second lap. He's still sitting there. So David had an incident that we might have missed.
No, I think he just brought it into the pits from that damage that he received earlier.
Now, Schwitter up front, still sitting on that just over 1 second lead. He gets down to the hairpin, and boy, Valverde really broke deep that time. Espiti almost up in the gearbox there of Valverde. Valverde has been solid, really solid here early, keeping Jan Schwitter honest here early in this race. Dawson, I go back to 12th, and we've got a good three-car battle right there. Actually, Haflidazen just gets around Richard Tam. And Haflidazen sets his sights on Nayuks.
And you can see Tam's rear wing is tweaked a little bit, so I'm not sure how much that's impacting him, but if he's able to maybe get it. Ooh.
Oh, trouble for Michel Rugenbrink. It looks like he got a little bit too much curb. We're going to go to the replay. He just gets that tire barrier there at the end of his slide. He just got over the edge of the curb there, didn't he?
Yeah, I know as far as running other cars here, sometimes that's okay, and you can get away with that move, maybe get a better run through there. But yeah, this IndyCar really doesn't like curbs.
Yeah, it didn't like it that time indeed. Rugenbrink already slow here heading into sunset. Now Quinn, I'm hearing Quinn had problems. Well, Liam Quinn, I think we've caught it here on the replay.
Ooh.
Yeah, I totally missed it.
Just looking back. Yeah, it looked like maybe the bumps going through turn 1 and 2 there.
Well, let's go on board here. Watch the hands. Yep, that is the old washboard effect here coming in through turn 1. He got really lucky, though. That could have ended much worse for him.
Yeah, once you get in that grass, so unpredictable on what the car is going to do. You're really just along for the ride. So good thing you didn't find a wall or a tire barrier.
Oh, David Burns just spins off the track. Boy, that was coming out of the hairpin, and he just loses it. Wow, that was a hard hit.
He had just came out of the pits repairing that car.
And, well, that car got evil on him. And that's an ender. That's going to be hard to come back. Side-by-side racing on track, though. Matt Kingsbury here trying to recover. He is fighting hard with James King. And that was for position. That's for 17th. Kingsbury almost roughing James King up there a little bit. Wow.
Yeah, Matt's in the top 5 right now of the points, so he needs a good result here. We know that his preference is definitely ovals, but he needs to make sure he gets as many points as he can on these road course races.
Okay, now we're going to Randy Cheneth here. Dennis Garrison just getting by. Has a little bit of an off here. We pick it up on the replay. off into the kitty litter there and dirt, and boy, that opens things up for Garrison.
James King and Matt Kingsbury just got into each other.
Yeah, I don't think. No, that's it. They again. Yeah, that's going to be a problem. Those two not having a lot of fun with each other on track right now. Yeah. All right. Well, we'll move on. We'll find another battle here right now. We'll let those two get things sorted out. The battle for fourth intense. Polka trying to haul off Dennis Garrison here. Dennis been sitting back there in fifth for a while. He's ready to maybe get one more if he can. Dennis, I'll tell you what, Randy just behind him. Randy, of course, had a little bit of trouble. Still keeping the car on track and fighting through it. Dennis, though, has more the pace to catch Polka right now, so this should be interesting here as they make another revolution here around Sebring. Cheneth starting to hound Garrison a little bit, and I think the fight down into the hairpin, we may see some action. Polka really starting to kind of set the tone for these drivers here that are chasing a podium spot. Polka 4.4 seconds behind Austin Espetit. And here we go. Polka under threat. Garrison trying to come through. Dawson, he couldn't pull it off. Not enough track there.
Yeah, no, and Polka taking a little more defensive line into that corner. It's a good job by him to make sure he gets onto the brakes at the right time, not overdrive it.
Okay. Jen de Bien now on the Le Mans. Here we go. This should set up some passing opportunity here. You want to be about somewhere between 4 and 6/10 of a second to close. Polka's got it. Garrison closes it down a little bit, but not enough. I just don't think he was close enough there. Now sunset again. You have a lot of different opportunities for a line through there. All three of them take about the same one, Dawson, as they head up back to turn one.
Yeah, I think that the line that all three of them use is a really a popular one. I've seen it in the IndyCar and other cars too. It just seems like it carries the most momentum. You're able to get that one apex in there to get it tight down to the inside.
Let's go back up front. I want to watch this battle between Joao Valverde and Austin Espetit, because I think Espetit's starting to maybe get a little impatient here. He's trying to set Joao up here for a pass, and he thought about it going down to the hairpin, but you know what? This could be an opportunity before we pit. Because in my estimation, I think the window's open at this point for your pit cycle. So. Depending on how you want to play this, but we shall see. Valverde, good pace so far in this race, has pretty much stayed out of trouble. Schwitter kind of doing his own thing, but it's still just a second here, Dawson.
Yeah, he hasn't really run away. You know, that first couple laps, I thought that Schwitter was just going to run away with this, get it between a 5-second gap or something crazy. But these guys, Espetti and Valverde, they've done a great job of holding that gap, not letting Schwitter really run away with this thing. And that's going to be really important for their cause to maybe have a battle for that race win.
Watching several cars make their run down the Ullman Straight. Fast race so far. It's been a really, really good pace. We still have our leaders up turning 140.4s. Joao Valverde just had one of his fastest laps of the race. Schwitter just had his personal best, a 140.436. So tanks are starting to get a little lighter. Cars getting a little bit faster, and the tires still in pretty good shape for most of these drivers.
Yeah, and I think we're starting to get to the point where if you are, using too much of them tires, you're going to start to see a little bit of fall off. But you know, that's the other thing with these Indy cars. As they burn fuel, they get lighter, they get quicker. So overfilling your car is going to penalize you in a way. So we'll see how drivers use that with their pit strategy and when they use tires. It's all coming up here in a couple laps.
Jamie Wilson trying to take down Andrew Kinsella. These two fighting here. I'll tell you what, Wilson really working on him. Wilson looking to maybe try and cross him over. He's trying a couple different lines at him. Ooh, he's got to run. He's up alongside. Kinsella not giving him any room. Gives him a little bit there. Such a tough place to pass right here. Wilson tries to keep the nose in. He's got to back out of it. Be patient. Get a good run here. He does. Good run out of Lamar. He's on the move. Wilson trying to catch Andrew Kinsella. He can't do it. Boy, he just wasn't close enough to get in the slipstream there. That line on the outside, that's the one with maybe a little less bumps if you find it just right. You get too far out to the left, there's a lot of bumps out there. Richard Tam coming in for a pit stop. Dawson, keep an eye on what he does there. Tam's got some damage, though, on the rear wing of that car, so he'll probably actually be in for a little bit longer. Not going to hurt him to take tires. He's going to have to wait for that wing replacement. Let's go back to the battle for 7th right now. Wilson still giving Andrew Kinsella's mirror a lot of action here, Dawson.
Yeah, that's been a great battle as we've watched. Tam is away, and that car has a brand new rear wing, so I think that was kind of the idea, get that fresh tires, fuel, and a rear wing.
Yeah, here we go right now. Jamie Wilson trying to get this done. Jamie almost gets under the gearbox there of Andrew Kinsella. I'll tell you what, Jamie's racing smart, though. I mean, he's really not... Boy, he's... Oh, Kinsella makes a mistake. Car gets really loose. Jamie backs off again. Does not... Again, I really think he's being smart here about what he's doing. He's putting a lot of pressure on, but he's you know, he knows when to get out of it. I don't want to jinx anything here. We've already had one commentator's curse today. Oh, and there we go. Jamie Wilson going to come in and pit now. So, lap 11. Wilson is in. So's Liam Quinn. Liam Quinn going to follow Wilson down. Window open.
Jamie's car just disappeared.
It's back.
Okay. Whew.
All right, let's go back to the battle for 4th place right now. Ole Cuoco holding it down. Dennis Garrison, Randy Cheneth, all there in that battle. I wonder if these three are going to peel off at the same time here. Jan Schwitter still in the lead. He has opened up that lead just a little bit more. It's about a second and a half now. Joao Valverde still being chased by Austin Espetit. So not much has changed up front, folks. But the battle for 4th is still a good one. These three have pretty much behaved themselves. It's Randy Cheneth right now that has lost the most. He has dropped 3 spots, but I think that might be a little bit planned by design. So Dawson, Liam Quinn would be, I guess he would be the first car right now. And they're all coming in here. Schwitter, Valverde, Austin Espetit, pit party.
Ali Cuoco coming in out of that other group.
Get Garrison and Cheneth are going to stay out. Boy, a lot of them coming in now on this time round. The fan belt is in. Johan van der Belt is in. George Nayux. Michelle Rugenbrink is in. Michael Haffeldazen, Fabian Jungbluth. Wow. So Quinn, we should be watching Quinn right now to see where he's at. Who's going to get out before him? Right now it looks like several. Quinn going to get up to 10th. He just got by Haffeldazen.
Right out in front of Nauyux.
Yep. All right, so Nauyux stays in the top 10. Liam Quinn hanging on to 9th. A good round of pit stops, but it's Dennis Garrison leading this race right now, and Garrison and Cheneth are the only two left right now that still need that pit stop. And they just hit the Ullman Straight. Dennis Garrison with a really, really nice run here down the Ullman Straight. Really no challenge from Cheneth here. Got about a second on him. Dennis coming under the bridge in the sunset, and he's coming in. Cheneth going to follow him. So, all right, Jan Schwitter coming down the Ullman Straight, sitting in third. Looks to try and pass Garrison and Cheneth. Both still trying to make it to their box. Schwitter coming under the Sebring Bridge, under the footbridge, and across the line. He's going to pass him in their stall. Schwitter back to the point. He's going to bring Valverde and Austin Espity with him. Garrison, Cheneth, both moving. They'll look for Ali Quokka in their mirrors.
Quokka's going to file out right behind Garrison, so Garrison's going to gain a spot from that pit stop.
Garrison trying to get back up to speed here. Has a little bit of trouble getting through there. He hops the curb, gets the car up in the air, but he hangs on to it. Quokka still left to follow. So unfortunately, Cheneth getting dropped another spot there in the pecking order. Now being followed by Kinsella. Kinsella was in the lap before him, so a little bit different strategy here. But what hasn't changed is the leader back up front, Jan Schwitter. Let's run it down here for you. I'll take the top 5. You can take the last 5 there, Dawson. Jan Schwitter is your leader, leading most of this race at this point. Joao Valverde sitting second right now. Austin Espity up 1 spot and currently third. Dennis Garrison up a spot and currently sits in 4th, having a great run here so far, but he is being followed here closely by Ali Quokka. Quokka starts 6th place and sits in 5th right now.
Randy Cheneth, he started 3rd and now finds himself just outside that top 5, but watch for him to get right back up with these 2 in front of him. I think he still has plenty of speed with him. Andrew Kinsella, he's kind of brought himself back into this picture. It might create a 4-car train right in there to be just outside that top 5. Kinsella started 7th. He still is 7th. Then we go back to Johan Vandenbelt and Liam Quinn, both of them sitting 8th and 9th. Jan Vandenbelt up a couple positions. He's from 12th. And then George Nauyux to round out the top 10. He started 14th, so gaining 4 spots. Not a bad run for Nauyux.
Now, just outside the top 10, we've got to talk about the person who's been a big mover in this race. It's been Michael Haffeldazen. Haffeldazen up 9 spots right now in 12th. Is certainly a driver to be thought about here. Is in fact, as he sits just outside of the top 10, he's going to need a little help. As right now, our leader Jan Schwitter is almost a full 30 seconds ahead of him. But I don't think it's unrealistic to think that Haffeldazen can get himself here inside the top 10 with a good continued pace and a little bit of luck. Fabian Jungbluth back here having a decent battle right now with James King. In fact, Jungbluth trying to get around. Him and King going at it. Oh. Trouble for Randy Cheneth. He spins the car and Cheneth will be in. Oh, got it on the replay. Spin, no contact. Man.
Yeah.
Randy locks it up. Able to avoid hitting that tire barrier. We're going to stay with it, though, you see. Yeah, I'm sorry, Dawson, go ahead.
Yeah, here he goes, then. He's going to get back going with it and spin it again this time. Not going to be able to avoid it.
Boy, that's a tough break for Randy. He was really having a solid run. It had a really great start to the race. Things, yes, have seemed to kind of go downhill for him, but keep fighting, Randy.
He's going to stay out and try that car to see maybe if he can run another lap, but boy, that front wing does not look very pretty.
No, it doesn't. It's definitely an abbreviated version of the wing. Battle for P2. SPT getting by Valverde. We've got a replay of it. I'm glad we do because I missed it also. But let's look at it here now. Boy, Valverde had been working on this for a while. Glad we have replays. Valverde gets swung, or Espiti had been working on it for a while, and that's the type of mistake he had kind of been waiting on. I'd put a lot of time between him and Joao Valverde, a full 2 seconds there.
Just shows one mistake. It accounts for almost as much as what Jan Schwitter is leading by. Schwitter, this is not a done race. Schwitter looks like he's way out there, 2.5 seconds. But one little mistake, one little trip through the grass, he could easily lose this race.
Well, our friend Randy Cheneth decides to bring his car down the pit lane. He's trying to get that repair now. And it looks like he has got out of the car for now. You see the heavy damage on the wing of that car. And it might be a tough return to the race for him. We've got somebody spinning somewhere, though. We're hearing it. Oh, Michael Hafeldazen spins. Coming into turn 1, right under the Chevrolet footbridge. Here's the replay. Boy, this was weird. I wonder if this was some sort of a hardware failure for him. No, it looks like he just drifted up there. Dawson, take a look on board. What do you see?
I think he just lost he just was trying to stay up. You want to stay as far right as you can to get a nice run through that turn, but boy, just unfortunate.
Sometimes they just jump up and grab you, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. And that Hafeldazen was moving through the field, and we had just talked about him, so now I feel like it happened twice in one race already.
Boy.
But yeah, that's tough. That's a tough break, man, because first of all, he took the toe to go in, which means he's sitting there waiting on the whole toe. Who knows how much damage that's going to be on the car. Schwitter, though, still the man, and nobody able to unseat him. I'll go back to 7th place. Johan Vandenbeld. Liam Quinn. I actually checked in on this a few minutes ago, and this was the same battle then, and it still rages on. Liam, I don't know what it is, but Liam doesn't seem to be able to find a really good opportunity to get around here.
Yeah, and that's kind of a thing I noticed. You can be faster than a guy, but a track like Sebring, if they're faster than you in the right spots, you just can't seem to get around them, and it ultimately holds you up. As you see, Liam Quinn getting really close, but he just runs away on the straights, gets a better run.
Okay, so I see Michelle Rugenbrink has come in the pits. I don't know if that was... I think that was a scheduled stop. That's going to be very interesting here. He may be the first one of the dominoes to fall. Quokka being chased by Garrison here. Nothing new, but Garrison gets a good run that time. Garrison here on the outside. Not picking up any draft. It's going to be tough to attack from the outside, but Garrison could cross him over here in Sunset. It's not going to happen. Polka winds up getting a good run there. Looks like he fought the wheel there on the exit just a little bit. Look at these three go. Kinsella in this mix. Look for Kinsella to make a move. Polka focused right now. Gotta be. Don't be the guy that makes the mistake. Polka with a good exit there off of turn 5. When you get through Big Bend, here comes Dennis Garrison. I think he made that move a little bit too early. We'll see here down to the hairpin. Kinsella looks to the inside. Gets a tire in, gonna back off. Polka with the man, what an exit there out of the hairpin for Polka. Able to set himself a little bit apart there from Garrison and Kinsella. Kinsella looks to make the move on the inside. Kinsella gets under Garrison, takes the position away. Kinsella up to 5th.
Garrison was in a tough position there. He was trying to make a pass, but he also didn't want to give up that position. We almost saw it happen in that first hairpin, the second hairpin. Kinsella, boy, he's got a lot of speed in that car right now, doesn't he? He's making that pass, and I think he's next guy on his checklist is going to be Ali Polka.
All right, but all of these drivers have something they need to take care of, and that's another pit stop here at this point. At some point, it's going to be so important to get these pit stops down and perfect. When they come across the line, we'll have 12 laps to go. Really, really dig the Petronas livery on the IR-18. It fits almost. Up front, your leader is still Jan Schwitter. You can't lose focus of that. Schwitter has had an amazing race here so far. It's got 3 seconds on Austin Espetit sitting in second. And Joao Valverde, after that small mistake, continues to hang on and hold on to a podium spot. It's going to be a heck of a fight for the rest of the guys to get up there. Polka right now leads this battle between himself and Kinsella and Garrison. And this is really one of the best battles on track right now. But they do have another pack behind them fighting, and that's Vandenbeld, Liam Quinn, and George Nayux has joined the party up there, Dawson.
Yeah, and not too far behind him is Jamie Wilson. We saw Wilson had a little bit of speed, but Nayuk's doing a great job to close that gap on these two. So they're going to have to settle it here. Quinn's going to need to either make a move or something, because Nayux is going to be the next one to take Quinn.
Over the fan belt here, looking over his back wing. He's maybe thirsty. He's trying to remember a 7-Up tagline. I can't think of one, so I'll move on. make 7-Up yours. That's right. I do. Okay, thank you. A little help there from Amjad. Fabian Youngbluth here. He's around. That's all by himself. Fabian just making a mistake. It's so easy to get there right out of turn 10 out of Cunningham and going into Collier.
Well,
luckily he avoids any trouble. Now we got pit stops starting to happen. Vandenbeld, Nayux are in. Now I wonder if Michelle Rugenbrink could catch them. Remember, Rugenbrink was the one that I was watching that peeled in a couple of laps ago. James King is in. Johan Vandenbeld is in for a long stop here. Uh-oh, the fan belt's got trouble. I think somebody might have been speeding on the pit lane. That's not good. More cars coming in. James King drops. He's out on his way. Greg Kingsbury in behind him. Rugenbrink did get up to 13th. Vandenbeld and George Nayux, though, get out ahead of him. Nayux, the real winner there, up to 10th. Nyuska's got himself in the top 10 now. Dennis Garrison just passes Andrew Kinsella. Garrison goes up to P5, pulls off that pass before pit stops. We got a replay of it here. Gets on the Ullman straight. Oh, in trouble out there to the left. I talked about that in the pre-race. You don't want to run it out too wide there in Le Mans and get yourself over the other side of the curb. Garrison able to get that spot. Austin Espity is in the pit. Jamie Wilson going to follow him. Espity now exiting out. Wilson just getting in, coming down to his box. The exit of that pit lane so tricky, Dawson, as you come right out into traffic there.
Yeah, you got to be paying attention. It's really tough. It's almost a blind corner for guys. They're not looking out there. They're looking at the apex of the turn. And getting a lot of trouble there, not swinging out into somebody.
Well, Espity is going to be the driver to watch now. Oh, well, we're watching the battle here between Polka and Garrison. Oh boy. Yeah, boy is right. Garrison really not happy about giving that up. The eternal pursuit of Ollie Quokka. I don't think Quokka's had a moment here where he could relax this whole race. He's had somebody up his gearbox pretty much the entire time. Be interested to see if they peel off here for their final stops. Joao Valverde just did. Schwitter went around. Valverde came in. And from the back, Andrew Kinsella decides to go in, but Quokka, Garrison, stay on track. Back through turn 1. Joao Valverde is down and away. Still on the battle here, though, on screen. Polka, Garrison on the precipice of a pit stop here. They continue to just slug it out.
Just on a side note, Liam Quinn brings it in. Sorry.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I swear to you, Garrison is taking setup notes on the car in front of him here because he has gotten so close. He's been able to inspect every inch of the rear section of Ollie Quokka's IR-18. Garrison just chasing and chasing. He's certainly using up the car at this point, Dawson.
Yeah, I think he knows, pit stop might be coming up here. You're probably taking tires. For as long as it takes to fill the car up, you're probably going to end up taking tires, so he's not too worried about that. But, I mean, we've seen...
Quokka had that car sliding, had it drifting just a little bit there as he was getting through Gendebien into Le Mans.
Yeah, I think Quokka's been driving his car extremely hard. We've seen him into a couple of them hard braking zones. Them tires have locked up, and I think that's due to the fact that Garrison's been putting pressure on him all the race. He's done a great job to not crack, and
he's
in.
Go.
Now Garrison needs to get a good lap here. Try and jump him.
Yeah, and Schwitter comes in also. So Garrison going to go back around and lead another lap. This will not be the first one he's led. Garrison did this on the first stop. Quokka in his box. Don't expect him to be there too long. He's down and away. But Jan Schwitter gets out before all of them, and Schwitter, of course, looks to go back to the lead of this race when Dennis Garrison decides to bring his car in for its final stop. Tell you what, Dennis Garrison has done a great job today of staying out of trouble, racing smart, gets to lead a couple laps in the meantime, and is still going to wind up with a great finish here.
And Garrison, not necessarily now racing Quokka. Andrew Kinsella was able to pass Quokka during them pit stops, so Now Kinsella's the guy he's got to beat.
Schwitter only about 6.5 seconds behind Garrison. So it won't take Schwitter long to reacquire the lead of this race. Espity with an outside chance here, though, to catch Jan Schwitter. Austin is only just under 2 seconds. That is not, that's not much. A little bit of luck and good pace out of Espity. Maybe find a little magic here late. You never know. We could see a battle here in the last few laps. Only 7 to go now.
Harrison keeping the car out.
Oh, Ali Quokka, Andrew Kinsella, side by side going through Sunset. Oh boy, watch out. Quokka gets through there first. Kinsella still back all over him across the line. They're side by side going into one.
Big run.
Big run. Kinsella does it. Kinsella gets the position back down into turn 3. Oh, and he cooks it. He cooks it. He's going to have to give that spot back. And here comes Liam Quinn to pick up the pieces. Yeah, Kinsella just outbreaks himself there. Just gets him way hot. Oh, trouble for George Nayukes. No. Man, haven't we seen Nayukes get around there already once? Jen Bien is not his friend. Into the tire barrier. Bounces it off there. Definitely takes up some wing damage on the car.
Stewart's
Quokka,
still battling.
Kinsella still going at it. Woo! We've got a replay of this. Quick one. Side by side here, Dawson. You know, I mean, that's obvious. That's going to happen, right?
Yeah, there's no room. Boy, you know who's smiling right now looking at this? Well, that would be Dennis Garrison as he brings it into the pits. Them two have been racing for how long? Garrison's probably going to jump these guys.
Maybe so. That Garrison is in his box. Ali Quokka right now.
No
making
tires.
a turn into Sunset.
Yeah, no tires for Garrison. He's going to make that pit stop as short as possible.
Quokka across the start-finish line right now. He leads this pack. Liam Quinn right behind him. Andrew Kinsella there. Dennis is going to get away.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of time there. 5.5 seconds. Wow, great job by Dennis Garrison. I'd say that's a pretty good recovery for him. Well, back up front, it's Jan Schwitter now with a 3-second advantage over Austin Espity. Time really starting to run out for Espity. It's not his friend here, Dawson.
Yeah, no, and I mean, Espiti's got to realize here that that's a big jump to make. You're not going to be able to close that gap with as good as Schwitter has been all day. He needs to maybe look in his mirror and say, what am I preserving here? Take it easy. Let Yal Valverde try and catch him. I think he's going to be... Valverde has a lot more pressure here, and don't make a mistake this late in the race.
Well, Valverde has already had a marvelous race, but boy, would he love to get that second spot. It's going to take a little bit more effort. He also not a fan of time right now. He is just a little bit faster than Espity, maybe by about a 10th, but boy, it just doesn't seem to be enough. Tell you what, though, let's go. The battle for 5th is still really good. Quokka's still trying to hold off Liam Quinn. This is back into turn 1 for these two. Quinn right there. Quinn maybe looks here in turn 3. I don't think he's going to take it here. But Quinn still fighting. And Andrew Kinsella, man, hey, listen, Kinsella's not going to give up on this race. Neither is Jamie Wilson behind him. Here we go. Quinn looks alongside Quokka. Quinn going to try and take the advantage here. Gonna have to do it from the outside in the hairpin or cross him over. He's gonna stick to the outside. Get the power down. Boy, oh boy, look at these two go at it. Oh, Quinn is finally going to get the spot that he has fought so hard for. Careful not to overdrive the car. Quinn's got it out on the ragged edge right now. Kinsella trying to overtake Polka now. And just behind them, Jamie Wilson. Jamie, where you been all my life? Apparently, Jamie blames everything on Randy, by the way, even though Randy's not in the race anymore. Right? We heard he's got hashtag blame Randy on the car. And there it is. Oh, boy, more trouble. Polka's around. And you know what? No contact there. Polka loses it by himself, Dawson.
It looked like he just drifted too far out of that racing line. Look at where that rubber is, and he's going to go out there. There's probably marbles out there. Yeah,
in fact, there had to have been. That, man, Polka fought so hard all race. Kinsella gets what Kinsella wants, though. Kinsella up to 6th. Losing touch with Polka here, though. Or, I'm sorry, with Liam Quinn.
Garrison on old tires has been able to, get away from that pack, avoid all that racing, and boy, that's been the strategy call of the race.
Yeah, you know what, Garrison, I think has actually picked up a little bit of time on them since that pit stop. So the tires seem to have been no real issue to him. I was looking to see if Joao Valverde had closed the gap here any on Austin Espity, and man, he has, but it's only been about 2.5 tenths of a second, and it's just he's not in a position right now where it's enough. We're going to come around with 3 laps to go, and Espity right now just is back against the wall. There's just not much he can do. Gonna need a little bit of luck here if he wants to climb to the top of the podium. Schwitter, like you mentioned before, has just been magnificent today.
Espity, I believe he's catching Ray Kingsbury, so that's, Kingsbury's just going to let him go by. Good move by Kingsbury.
Yeah, Kingsbury, trouble earlier in the race and still in this race, which is good because he's last car on track, but he is 13th place. So going to pick up a couple positive spots, and that'll certainly help him points-wise. Garrison still holding on to that 4th place. It's pretty safe right now as long as he continues to keep the car in the gray and keep his pace. He should be in good shape. Quinn, Kinsella, and Wilson. Now, that's probably where we should keep our focus over these next couple of laps here until the final moment, because I don't know if this is over yet. Oh, Wilson, Kinsella going at it again. No. Wow. Kinsella not able to get that away from Jamie Wilson. Kinsella got him, though. Got him here in the slipstream. Wilson going to go a little defensive. Makes one defensive move. Keeps it fair. Kinsella going to try and do it on the outside. We saw the spin earlier. You get too far out. Nice run for Kinsella. Kinsella comes right up alongside here, Dawson. Oh, no! Oh no, that's a shame. That's a shame. Poor Jamie Wilson. We got a replay of it. Chasing, fighting hard there, and maybe he just got a little bit of dirty air, Dawson. The car got wicked.
Boy, yeah, that is very possible. That's really tough.
You hate to see that fight end that way. Let's go on board here with Jamie.
I think you're right. You know, that car starts to get loose right as he crosses past his slipstream.
Mm-hmm.
So, dead on.
Yeah. Looks something unnatural took that car over, though, and boy, poor Jamie Wilson. Great race, man. We'll see you next time. Great effort today. Well, tell you what, we've seen a good one here today. Jan Schwitter, though, Jan Schwitter has been the class of this field. He comes across, the white flag is out. One more revolution here for Schwitter. That was his fastest lap of the race, a 140.169. So, not a bad time to pick off your fastest lap when Austin SPT is back there doing everything he can to try and catch you. And trust me, I'm sure SPT is just taking that car to the limit, but Schwitter, again, it's just been too good today. SPT has been really solid, and so has Joao Valverde. And honestly, it hadn't been for a mistake earlier from Joao Valverde, he might be the one sitting up there in second right now, but he's done enough to hold on to a podium spot here, Dawson.
Yeah, you know, the one mistake, you can look back at that and really be frustrated, but I think you can't be frustrated with a podium finish. A lot of great drivers in this series, so can't hang your head.
All right, Schwitter coming through now through Jen de Bien. We'll make the run here into Le Mans. Through the kink there, now onto the right-hander, that is Le Mans, and out clean, just off the top of the curb, down the Ullman straight. And Schwitter at times has made this look a little easy today. He's going to run over the washboard one more time there in Sunset. Get a nice clean exit out under the bridge and waving at the crowd as he takes victory here at Sebring Raceway. Here in the Absolute Beginners IndyCar League. Austin SPT going to bring it home in second. Joao Valverde locks up third. And Dennis Garrison really has a great drive today. Dennis looks to bring it home now in fourth. And that was a really, really solid run out of him and the team today. And Liam Quinn will lock out the top five. Liam, with a great race of his own, a lot of battling up there, picks up 4 spots, and he will finish 5th. Everybody back there is still running, trying to make their way across the line. There's Kinsella, Ali Quokka, Johan Vandenbeld, Richard Tram, Fabian Jungbluth, Michael Rugenbrink, and Ray Kingsbury is going to finish the race on track, I believe. Yeah, Ray made it across. So, we're going to take it to break real quick here on the Global Sim Racing Channel. We'll be right back with the Absolute Beginners IndyCar League. Welcome back to the Global Sim Racing Channel. Folks, what a race here at Sebring today. Sebring International Raceway in the IR-18 and the Absolute Beginners IndyCar League crews. Once again, they are anything but beginners, folks. Let's look at the results of this race today. Jan Schwitter does it from the top. He hangs on to it, wins this race by 2.5 seconds. Austin Espiti, a second place run. Had to work hard for it today. Joao Valverde, third place for him. Dennis Garrison, fourth. Liam Quinn, fifth. Andrew Kinsella with a sixth place run. Ali Cuoca, boy, he fought hard today too. Seventh place for him. The fan belt, keeping it on the track. Johan Bandebel, the eighth. Richard Tram, ninth. And Fabian Jungbluth completing a long day of racing right now for him. A 10th place run.
Michelle Rugenbrink, last car on the lead lap. No key run for him. Jamie Wilson, we saw a really unfortunate ending to his race right there with 1 lap to go. Ray Kingsbury going to finish 13th. George Nauyuk's 14th. Finished and started, so Nauyuk's another unfortunate ending. James King, Michael Hafeldason, Andres Eeks, 15th, 16th, 17th. Randy Chenna, 18th, Thomas Kick 19th, Matt Kingsbury 20th, and I'll just finish it off now. McBride 21st and David Burns 22nd.
All right, thanks for the extra effort there, Dawson. I appreciate it, buddy. You know what? Let's talk to Jan Schwitter about this drive he had today. Jan, congratulations on a really clean victory. How much fun did you have out there today?
Whew, thank you. Yeah, it was a really husky race for me. All the time I had someone behind me, and it was a lot of fun to hold the pace, but still a lot of pressure there.
And of course, first time on this track with the IR-18 for you guys. How rough is it getting this car around here with just how bumpy this place is?
Yeah, it's really hard to find the right limit, and I'm not so the Sebring person, I think, so it was really great to have that result today, and it's hard to handle that car, so after my mistake in Barber, I hope to drive like this in the next races.
All right, well listen, congratulations. Anybody you'd like to thank today?
Yeah, I want to thank Oli Cuoca, my teammate, for the great setup. We did a great job for this track, and yeah, that's awesome.
Okay, well, hey, thank you very much, Jan. Well, we will see you next time. And that is Jan Schwitter, your winner today. Dawson has caught up with Austin Espiti about his race.
Yeah, Austin, you finished second place. Boy, it seemed like Schwitter was just on, but you can't be too ashamed of second place, right?
No, this week was very good to me between official and broadcast and prime time yesterday. And now today, I knew I had pace. I messed up qualifying really bad, but fourth is still better than where I should have been. But yeah, I thought I might have had something for him there, but I got loose on 1 lap and he pulled away. It was just we were the same pace, and I just couldn't close in on him.
Yeah, and another car in that battle was Yao Valverde, and he seemed to have you. Had he not made that mistake, that would have been an interesting battle between you and him.
Yeah, I made one mistake, 1 lap, he made it the next, and I was able to get around him. But I was content for the first stint, kind of saving fuel behind him and saving tires. But I knew I had a tad bit more pace in the long run, and I really needed to get by him. And I should have undercut on the first stint, but I didn't. But I was just fortunate enough to where he was able to still race on, but I was able to kind of build myself a gap and try to catch Jan.
Yeah, well, congratulations on the second place. You're sitting on the podium, getting a lot of points for this race. In 2 weeks' time, I believe we go to Gateway. You excited to maybe go to the Oval? A little interesting track out there, even.
Oh, Gateway is an interesting track. I have not tested it in the new car yet. Should be fairly similar. I was pretty competitive there in the DW12. I guess it all depends on what weather we have and how much aero push there will be. I'm looking forward to it though. I wasn't able to race a couple of the other rounds, but so 2 races, 2 second place finishes. I'm hoping to get the win at Gateway next time.
All right, yeah, break your streak, hopefully for the better and not the worse. Well, thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Thank you.
All right.
All right, and Dawson, thank you. I have caught up with Joao Valverde. Joao, boy, congratulations on finding the podium today. It was a great race out there. Um, talk to us about that little bit of trouble you had, and do you feel like that maybe cost you a chance to win this race or at least finish second?
Hey, first of all, no, not really. It was a stupid mistake. I was thinking of strategy and looking at fuel numbers, and I lost track of where I was. In all honesty, I don't think I would still get second. I think Austin would have overtaken me at the pits anyway. So, not bad. I was expecting a lot worse.
Well, and then if you were expecting worse and it turned out way better, that's a good thing today. This is a very, very tough track. It's of course I had just said to Jan a little while ago, this is the first time you guys have been here in the IR-18, and how the bumpiness was a big factor. Do you think the temperature on track was a big factor today?
Yeah, definitely. The bumps are already bad enough. Add temperature to that, then it's a nightmare, really.
Yeah, I kind of suspected it would be for you guys. We did a great job of hanging on to it. We head back to oval racing in a couple weeks. If you had a stronger suit, would it be the oval side or the road side? Which do you favor?
Road, definitely.
Have you been on Gateway before?
Nope.
All right. Well, I guess it's time to get practicing. You can't sit on your laurels too long. Congratulations,
yeah, thank you.
Would you like to thank anybody today?
Yeah, you guys for the awesome broadcasts and the organizers of the championship.
Well, thank you for the kind words, Joao, and we will see you in a couple weeks.
Have a good one.
That is Joao. Thank you. That is Joao Valverde, and we've got one last interview here to catch up with. Who did we have here? Oh, Liam Quinn. We're going to get Liam Quinn in. All right. Dawson, I'm going to let you talk to Liam.
Big race for Liam Quinn today, in a race where Henry Bennett did not show up. 43 points out of the lead. Jan Schwitter did his thing, but you definitely did your part to get a top 5 with some amazing battles. What a race.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and, with everything that's happening, all the position, you're going to move up again, probably in the standings, maybe possibly. You had a great run. You even kept Andrew Kinsella, who's right behind you in the points. You're able to keep him behind you.
Yeah, I don't think I'm lacking really as a win at this point. Hopefully Gateway changes that, but we'll see.
All right, well, you're excited for Gateway with the oval more?
Yeah, I think the racing in this car at Gateway will be a lot of fun.
All right, well, short and sweet, I guess. Anybody you want to thank?
Well, you guys for a start, and Austin SPE teammate. That's about it, really.
All right. Well, thanks for stopping by. A great race. Just good job overall. Great running. A lot of fun to watch you.
Yeah, thank you. It's a pleasure.
All right, that was Liam Quinn. Great run for him today. I'll tell you what, we're going to wrap up with our good friend and fellow commentator Johan Vandenbelt. Vandenbelt, the Fan Belt. I morphed your name there, Johan. Hey, listen, that was a fun race to watch. Was it as much fun for you out there, or was it too much like work?
It was fun. I didn't really have a good pace. That's why I qualified that far down the field. But I kept it clean, and I was quite consistent in the race. So I worked my way up to P7. And I don't know if you caught it in the broadcast, but when Liam and I were battling, we had contact at one point in Sunset, and that hurt my rear wing and my diffuser. So at my second pit stop, I lost like 15 seconds. And after that, I just didn't have the speed anymore because my car was damaged. So it's a shame because I think I might have been able to maybe win one or two more places before, because Liam was way quicker, but I was defending quite well so far. But yeah, it was fun in the end. I finished top 10, and that's not something I expected.
Well, we thought you got nipped for speeding there in the pits. So good to hear you didn't, and it was just damage. But Johan, I've got to ask you, since you started commentating, I understand your fan club is starting to grow. Where should folks sign up for your fan club if they want to get on board?
Send me a letter. Just a letter, or send me a. No, I don't know. I don't know. Shoot me. I have to see the first signs of the fan club yet, and then I'll start to make some accommodations.
Right. Well, listen, buddy. A lot of fun watching you run. Wished it could have been a little bit better position for you, but we get to the oval side in a couple weeks, and I'm sure you'll have some fun there, and maybe get yourself a little bit better spot up the field.
Yeah, let's try not to hang it in the wall this time.
Let's try. All right. Good. Hey, thank you again, my friend. We will talk to you soon. That's Johan Vandenbeld, and you know what? Great race by him today. Great race by everybody. But I would now like to take the opportunity to thank the Absolute Beginners League for organizing the Indy series here with GSRC broadcasting it. Thanks to the companies, equipment, and software that you see on your screen now that we use on every broadcast. Thank you for the original music that gives every GSRC broadcast that unique flavor and feel. It's thanks to Eric Ekholm and Casey Lalonde. See the screen for how to contact each of them, Dawson.
The ABIL returns in 2 weeks. It'll be April 28th from Gateway Motorsports Park. GSRC will be there to bring you all the action. We hope you join us. Sliding across your screen now are some upcoming broadcasts, so check those out and mark them down on your calendar. If you'd like more information about us, including a complete list of future broadcasts, you can find it all at globalsimracingchannel.com. And find time to subscribe to this YouTube channel. We're also on Twitter at GSR Channel and Facebook at Global Sim Racing Channel.
Okay, now you heard Dawson. If you haven't subscribed, please do it now. We'd love to have you on board with us, okay? But finally, on behalf of the man whose voice you just heard, Dawson, never say die, Brock, our director, Amjad Yaman, our camera artist, Dougie Beard, I'd like to thank all of you for watching today. With that said, we're going to run off and have some fun storming the castle for old buddy Soup. So until next time, race clean, race hard, and I'll see you on the track.